Yes, we're back with another episode of the Cheltenham Roar. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's just myself doing the show today as Dave isn't in the greatest shape with his health. But I can report that he is getting better. He is getting more of himself and things are getting a lot better for him. So fingers crossed he can get himself to a state where he can come back on the show and voice his opinion, which obviously means a lot to me and to a lot to you guys as well. So moving forward, you have the joys of having just me today. So bear with me. It's my first time doing it by myself. If I do make mistakes, then let's laugh it off. And then let's move on to the next thing. So what we'll talk about is what happened. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Through the festive period, we had some great races. Some great horses stepped up and claim and put themselves on the top of the market for their suggested races. A few of them that stood out for me was Monkfish. Won very well against latest exhibition. Great little race down the home straight, but he had a bit more in the town, a bit more quality to last it out, and now he's top of the market for the RSA. Very well deserved. You had Epatante. Don't know what happened with her. I don't know if Aidan got it wrong or if it wasn't her day. You had Altior. Again, another Nicky Henderson horse that didn't perform well over the Christmas period. Maybe his horses just weren't right. They're talking about taking him to the Ryanair. I don't want him to go nowhere near the Ryanair. I think stay champion chase. If he loses the Shakan, lose the Shakan. Don't put him in the Ryanair. You've done it. You tried it up him before. Nearly hurt the horse a lot. And he's an old guy now. Just take him there. Let him run his race. If he fails, then we just have to salute the champion he was. And if he wins, brilliant. I know I'll be getting the cash because I've got a lot of money if he wins. So fingers crossed he can still be the outdoor that we all want and still hope, especially on the British side. I know a lot of people on the Chacun Pour Soi side, and they're probably smiling now massively after the race he had and the fact Altior lost. But I think he's up 15-8 now, Chacun. There's still a bit of doubt if he'll even go there. Like I say, I went to Cheltenham last year on the Champion Chase Day on the Wednesday, and it wasn't until the day we found out that he wasn't there. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to wait until you see him go around the parade ring. Then I think it's the only time you could be smiling when it comes to Chacun Pour Soi. What else did we have? We had a couple of juveniles step up to the plate. Zana here performed very well. Top of the market now. What else we got? Obviously, we've got the King George. I wouldn't say it's the greatest King George. Congratulations to Bryony and to Frodon. Frodon is a brilliant horse. Bryony obviously rides Frodon how she does. The jockeys let her ride the way she wants to ride, which I think spoiled the Gold Cup a little bit. I don't know what Paul Nicholls was doing. He put 4 in the race, and by putting Frodon in the race, he ruined it for his other 2. So this is the problem when trainers put more than 1 in the race. It gets tactical and it takes the shine away from probably the best one is there. I was on Surname. I don't know what they were doing with him. I don't know why they dropped him out. Why didn't they put him at the front? Did they decide Frodon will go at the front? I don't know. They lost the race because of that. I still think Surname is a very good horse. I think he beats Frodon hands down, more or less round that 1-1. Kansas Oboe, obviously putting him in the Betfair ruined his chances. Probably killed him off for the year. Maybe we won't be seeing him for Cheltenham. Potentially maybe Aintree or Punchestown. He might go there. What else did we have? What else? We had obviously the Supreme Novice Trial as well in Ireland when you had Ballyadam and Appreciated. Appreciated won that. very well. Went home like a bullet and sits at the top of the market. I think it's about 11-4. Very well deserved. We could have another Willie Mullins Supreme Novice on our hands, where they just literally lead out from the front and just go and win. He's seen it before with a Tour, Duvan, I believe, and Classical Dream. You know what I mean? Obviously, with Ruby not on it, we always love to see Ruby leading out the front. And we also loved him to see when he used to land the last. Let's not go down there, though. Let's not go down that route. What else do we have? Obviously, of course, Shishkin. We had Shishkin. Wasn't much of a race. I think Gumball put himself out of the race the way he was running. Performed very well. I think Shishkin has that Arkle in his hands, and if he turns up and jumps well and doesn't get any trouble, then I can't see him losing that. I know the Mullins have got a good horse in their hands, who ran a couple of days ago against Bob Bollinger. I wouldn't write not Bob Bollinger, Captain Guinness. I wouldn't write Captain Guinness out. Maybe it just wasn't his ground. And I know the Skeltons have got a good horse now, All Mankind. I think we're starting to see that juvenile race is a lot better than we thought. We thought it was like a one-horse race. Maybe Goshen is just an amazing horse. Well, he was then. He's not doing great now, but we'll talk more about Goshen later. What else do we have? I think that's a good thing at the top of my head at the moment. Right, so that was what was. And now let's move forward to the next three choices. I have spoke to Dave and I have got his selections for the next three races we're going to cover. And the first race we're going to cover is the JCB Triumph Hurdle on the first race on the Friday. Dave has gone for French Assel. I've gone for Adagio. Right, let's start with French Assel. I personally think this is probably the best horse in the race, and I think 7-1 is an absolute steal. So Dave, great little choice there. How it won over the Christmas period, very, very impressive. It's a bit like how Goshen was going to win, say, in Cheltenham. But it's not the race itself that's massively caught my eye. It stands out the most. It's the fact that after that race, the Donnellys, the famous black and yellow checks, which now have, I have to say, an incredible force on their hands. All right, they've got some good horses, and they're only going to get more and better horses. They went out and bought him. So they went out and got this great horse, bought him, and they obviously got on the phone and said, Willie, we got him. And now he's at Willie's. So Willie Mullins now has the horse, which is already a great horse. So he can surely great only equals winner. So I think 7-1 now is a great little bet, considering I think he might go off a little bit less. Come Cheltenham, but Zanahill obviously is ahead of the market, very well deserved. All the races that he's done, run very comfortably in his last race. On a British perspective, I've had a look. There was another Donnelly one with Nicky Henderson, but I was humming and hawing about that one. But I thought, no, I think Adagio is up in it's about third in the market, deserves to be there. Have to go with him. His last race against Nassalam, very impressive. Nassalam, obviously from Gary Moore's yard, won very well in his last few races, but didn't race anything. So now, once it raced something against Adagio went clear past him over the last 10-1. I think on a British perspective, that's a great shout for an each way. So definitely look into that. David Pipe's yard is banging form this year. They've got some good horses and have some good winners. And Tom Scudamore is always been a good jockey and is incapable of performing a good race with a good horse. So that's the Triumph. Yeah, we'll go over this. I asked Dave to pick something for the National Hunt, and he came up with Court Maid. Came over to Britain last time out. Kind of underperformed a little bit, to be honest. I thought, especially with the weights, that would perform a lot better. I don't know if it's a case that Robbie Power was on board and Robbie Power isn't exactly having the best year. But in this race, Danny Mullins will be back on board. It comes from another Mullins yard, but Thomas Mullins this time. I think these national hunts are normally between the Elliots and the Mullins. So 16-1. If you want to take that race away and just think that maybe a step up in trip is going to help this horse get more out of it, then 16-1, especially in each way, is a great shout by Dave. My personal opinion when it comes to the national hunt, I don't touch it really until I see where Jamie Codd's going, because let's be fair, it's a Jamie Codd race. You won it a couple races ago on Le Broy, and that's a Ben Paulin horse. So you wouldn't think those two will match up, but they did, and guess what? They won the race. So they won it last time, sat out the back, let them get on with it, came round, won it. Like, I don't know what more you can say about that race. But the fact is, wherever Jamie Codd is and whatever horse Jamie Codd's on, then that normally is a horse that's going to be in the top two. So Court Maid's a great shout by Dave, 100% going on each way perspective. But personally, myself, I would wait to see where Jamie Codd is and then go. I know the price was shorter, and obviously you want to get a bit of value. So if you do fancy one, go ahead, and I suppose you just got to hope that Jamie Codd's on board. So I couldn't find one on English. I think it's a massive Irish race. I couldn't find one there. So I went for one in the new race, which is the Mare's Chase. And I've gone for Dame de Compagnie, who runs on Monday at Ayr. Nikki gave a speech that he said that she's going to be dropped down to 2 miles, potentially. This race that they're in is going to be 2 mile one. I personally can't see a race worth going to, which she's going to have a chance in for 2 miles. So I think 2 miles, I think it's 2 miles 5. Mare's Chase, grade 2. If you pick the bones out of the market, and if you take the horses that aren't going to run in that, she's going to be a lot shorter. So if she comes out and wins on Monday, I think the price is going to get dropped down from quite a bit. She obviously won the Kyril Cup. She is a handicap horse, so you got to take that with a pinch of salt as well. But like I say, if you break down the race itself, the Mare's Chase, you have South Soretta, who is massively underperformed this time round. Benny Dadu, look, I don't think they're going to go here. I personally think they're going to go to the Stayers Hurdle and put it up there. Maybe go to the Mares Hurdle with her again and have 2 bullets with Constantista, because obviously the 2 different jockeys are going to ride them anyway, so it's not the fact that Paul's going to have to choose between them. So there's a good chance he could go there because he does love that race. And obviously still got a bit of a bitter pill to swallow from the last time out. Cole Reevy is probably going to be the Mullins horse for them. Yeah, performed very well a couple of times out and definitely deserves to be up at the top of the market. And you break it down and get Annie Mac, put the kettle on, isn't going to go there. Going to go for Champion Chase. Shattered Love, yeah, could be a good horse. Augusta Gold. So they're the ones more or less above it. You got Ellie May. I don't think I've seen Ellie May run this year. So when you break it down, you know what I mean? You take out the horses that aren't going to be there, then Dame de Compagnie would be shorter than it is for that race. So, yeah, 20-1. If it comes out and wins well at Ayr, then the price is going to short. I think that she's got a great chance for the Mare's Chase. Fingers crossed she goes there. And fingers crossed she doesn't go to a 2 mile race somewhere. So, yeah, so that's Dave's National Hunt choice. Court May 16-1. My Mare's Chase at Dame de Compagnie at 20-1. Right. The last one we're going to do is break down last year's triumph and go with the Champion Hurdle. Dave has gone for Aspire Tower at 16-1 each way. You can't knock anything that horse has done this year. Won very well, and then battled hard to come second to, was it Charger, wasn't it? Yes, in the race before. So, yeah, I think, to be honest, I think these two will be probably out the front if Goshen does turn up. Aspire Tower will go out the front and hopefully stay on. I think they're both going to bomb out at the front and then go around the top turn and just say to Epatone, come catch me, and we'll see if that £7 makes a difference. So Aspire Tower is a great shout for each way at 16-1. Moving on to Goshen. Right. If you would have said at the beginning of the year, I would give you 22-1 for Goshen, you would have literally snapped that person's hand off and gone, mate, you need your head reassessed. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. So take away the bad run, okay, and take away all the fact is he didn't run that race. He didn't run that race. Then 22-1, still be the horse he was last year. It's an absolute steal. Obviously, you can't think like that. You have to take in consideration that this year is different to last year and a lot of things change. So he probably does deserve the prices at the moment, but he's still gonna have the cause of a quality horse, and things might just not be right. And Gary Moore just might get it right come the day at Cheltenham, and we might see the Goshen that we saw last year. So if you still believe in Goshen and you still hope that this Goshen is going to be the horse that we all thought he was going to be, then you'd be rude not to take 22-1, at least go on each way, and at least chase him home. Obviously, we know the last race, he just faded miserably, and Song for Someone and Silver Streak ended up battling it by a nose, literally to the line. They're both entered in this race, and I did look at them, but I think they've reached their limit. Obviously, Silver Streak beat Epatone, and that was a great race. And Silver Streak has always been up there. He came third in the Champion Hurdle a few years ago. And there's always been a horse that's been up there, but always been knocking on the door, but never been good enough. I think that was prime time for the Chance in the Sun. Obviously lost by a nose to Song for Someone. And yeah, Silver Streak, I think, can put it up to him because Evan Williams is very good form this year. Obviously win the Welsh National as well. I think you do have to take a good look at Silver Streak. I think if he'd have got a better run-in against Song for Someone, he would have got there because he was blocked in and just couldn't get out until near the end. So yeah, I think Silver's about 10-1 at the moment. So I think you do have to look at that horse and think he does have a good each way shout, being that he has come each way before in the race as well. So yeah, so Goshen 22-1 each way for the Champion Hurdle, and Aspire Tower 16-1 each way for the Champion Hurdle on an RS perspective. Right, so they are this time round 3 selections. Okay, hopefully next time round Dave will be back and he can give his thoughts into the next selections we do. We're going to try and keep it on more on a regular basis leading up to Cheltenham now, and maybe start hitting some doubles now, some doubles and triples that we think are going to make some big money for you guys, because the value is starting to deteriorate, isn't it? So we're not starting to get the value that we had done beginning of the year. So this is the time where you have to pick out these good doubles, these good trebles that are going to get you a nice amount of money come Cheltenham Day. What we got this weekend? We have got a good few races this weekend. Oh, I will talk about one horse, and that's Next Destination. He runs Saturday. He runs in a 3-runner race, that being against Fiddle of the Roof. It's probably one of the biggest disappointments this year. He's odds on at the moment to win the race. He's probably going to win the race, but it depends how he wins the race. He's 16 to 1 for the RSA. I've got my eye on this horse massively. If you look at his hurdle form in Ireland, he beat Delta Work. So he's a grade 1 winner in hurdles. He's obviously with Paul Nicholls now, who is banging form at the moment. Can't question that. 7-timer last week. So, yeah. If you look at this horse, he's 16 to 1. You've got Monkfish at 2 to 1. I think he has a great chance of being up in that market. If we look at a couple of years ago when you had, I think 3 years ago, a couple of years ago when you had top of the game kind of went under the radar a little bit. He was out there about 6 to 7 to 1 for the RSA. And he won it very well near the end. And maybe they might have the same sort of horse on their hands for the RSA. So if he runs well this weekend, that price is going to obviously go down. So if you do look at this horse and you do fancy it, 16 to 1, I'd get on now because the price will obviously deteriorate good fashion if he wins comfortably. What else do we have this weekend? I'm trying to think of any other ones that stand out. Obviously, we have the bumper horse that Willie's the first horse to come over from Ireland after Brexit. Got him in the bumper. Trying to think what we've got on Saturday. We do have a few other races on Saturday. We've got Potter's Corner, who I tipped up for the cross country. He's gone hurdling in the per temps qualifier. I don't think he's going to go down hurdling route. I think he's got Grand National and cross country in sight, but they're trying to save his mark, obviously, for chasing and get him a bit fit. So they've took him down here. They've got that. I think at the top of my head, some good shouts this week. The only thing in my head just keeps talking about, keeps thinking Sunday. And yeah, what can we say? Race that we wanted the race, beginning of the week. We've got the race. Envoy Allen, a steer for Longe. Envoy Allen, arguably the best horse in train at the moment. Steer for Longe, still a quality horse. My Supreme selection last year. Obviously can't go left-handed. An absolute maniac when it comes to jumping. He's getting £11 on Envoy Allen. That hopefully should bring him to a nice level where we're going to see a very competitive race. I want Envoy Allen to win. I'm not in the understanding of, let him lose because that way we'll get a bit more money. Because the bookies don't work like that. All right. They're gonna take into £11 consideration. If he loses by a length or even a length and a half, they're gonna think that £11 has made a hell of a difference. So they might knock up a little bit to evens, but even then, you're not going to get any serious money to want him to lose. So I want Envoy Allen to win. You got to want the best horse to win all the time. So let's hope we get the race that we want. They both come out of it healthy. None of them fall, because the last time we want is one of them to fall, because then the race is going to be over. Let's hope, fingers crossed, we get the race we want. Envoy Allen proves the horse he is. I suppose if you want to put Envoy Allen in a treble or a double, I'd do it now, because if he wins this race, given Steer for Longe £11, I dread to think what his odds are going to be. You're probably looking at really Frankel odds, you know what I mean, like 1 to 4 or 1 to 5. It's going to be absolute madness if he wins this very well. So let's all just sit there, get our popcorn out, enjoy 4 minutes of good top quality racing, keep our fingers crossed that both horses come out fine, and I hope we get the race that we want. And obviously take note of Dame de Company, who's going to be running on Monday as well, and fingers crossed that she can come out and we can get some value on the 20 to 1. So that's it. I hope I did all right. Didn't stumble or mutter as much as I thought I was going to be. Hopefully got the content out that you enjoyed. Hopefully you can take in the information that I've said to you and go from there. I'm waffling on. I need to cut it short. please, everyone, if you like the show, please like, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter at the Tips Guru. You know what I mean? You'll do put content out there, and slowly trying to progress myself this year. So any support would be nice. You know what I mean? I hope everyone has a good weekend. Bet safe, bet responsibly. Get yourself some winners. Enjoy this lockdown the best you can, and let's hope we come out of this weekend and this lockdown better than ever. So good luck, everyone. Stay safe and bet responsibly. Peace.